You hear the music. Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Robinson, and welcome to another exciting edition of the League Wraparound. This is the program that gets you caught up on anything and everything happening around the NFL. Coming up on this edition of the program, we'll preview Week 16's most important games. Welcome to the program, everybody. We're winding down on the NFL regular season, and I just want to say on behalf of my family to yours, we'd like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and be safe out there and have fun with your family, or if you just want just a day for you to relax, or however you enjoy your holidays. Again, from me to you, just to wish you a very Merry Christmas. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if you remember him, he was a former teammate of Patrick Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, Edwards-Helaire won a national championship with the LSU Tigers. Some of his teammates were Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. Well, Edwards-Helaire was released by the Chiefs this week, and he was signed to the New Orleans Saints practice squad. So Edwards-Helaire, he's a Louisiana native. He grew up in Baton Rouge, and now will be headed about an hour and 20 minutes to New Orleans to be on the practice squad for the New Orleans Saints. Edwards-Helaire was very influential in helping the Chiefs win 2 Super Bowls during his time in Kansas City. But again, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was released by the Kansas City Chiefs and has signed with the New Orleans Saints practice squad. And somebody making a return to college football, Michael Vick. That's right. Michael Vick will be the new head coach of the HBCU Norfolk State Spartans. So Michael, you know about him having a great college career at Virginia Tech, and then, of course, NFL, Atlanta Falcons, Philadelphia Eagles, also stops with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets. And Michael Vick will transition nicely into the world of sports broadcasting, working for various media outlets. But Michael Vick, again, no head coaching experience, but accepted the head coaching position at Norfolk State University. So congratulations to Michael Vick. And again, the Deion Sanders effect. A lot of former NFL players either coaching at HBCUs or coaching at maybe Division I or Division II schools. And certainly Michael Vick, he's going to have his work cut out for him. He's going to be replacing former head coach Dawson Odoms. Odoms was fired by Norfolk State after several seasons at the university. But again, Michael Vick is the new head coach at Norfolk State University. All right, now it's time to preview Week 16's most important games in the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles square off against the Washington Commanders. So for the Eagles, what a drama-filled week it was. As I mentioned earlier, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, you know, I mean, the drama surrounding the passing attack, the pass offense, all week long, people paid attention to those two gentlemen specifically. Will they be on their best behavior on the sideline? Will they be on their best behavior on the field? Well, they were on their best behavior times 10 because Jalen Hurts passed for close to 300 yards. Not only did A.J. Brown get over 100 yards receiving, but Devontae Smith got over 100 yards receiving as well. And then the Eagles defense, they balled out as well. I mean, the Eagles, one of the top defenses in the league this year. As for the Washington Commanders, they pulled off a close one in New Orleans against the Saints. Jaden Daniels did what Jaden Daniels did best, right? Throwing and running. Terry McLaurin, one of the most, not only one of the most underrated receivers in the league, one of the most underrated players in the league. Terry McLaurin is outstanding, and him and Jaden Daniels, they have a nice combination. And I'm excited to see what these two can do for years to come. But Philly and Washington, this is a rivalry that's gone on for decades. NFC East, it's going to be chilly in the DMV. It will land over Maryland, to be specific, where the Commanders play. You know it's going to be a good one. I mean, it's always been some great games in this rivalry between the Eagles and the Commanders. So we got Philadelphia and Washington. This should be an exciting one. The Minnesota Vikings will square off against the Seattle Seahawks. So let's start off with the Vikings. red hot Monday night against the Chicago Bears. Sam Darnold, MVP candidate. Aaron Jones played at a high level. Jordan Addison is a nice compliment to Jordan Jefferson. And what can you say about Jordan Jefferson, right? JJ, when is he not balling? When is he never not balling, right? Jordan Jefferson making the tough catches, making the circus catches, running routes, and just putting defensive backs to shame. As for the Seattle Seahawks, embarrassed on Sunday night in the hands of the Green Bay Packers. Geno Smith suffered an injury, did not return to the game. Sam Howell was his replacement. He looked horrible out there. I don't want to say the word I want to say, but he didn't play his best game against that tough Green Bay Packer offense. But Geno Smith was a full participant this week in practice, and it looks as though Geno is going to be ready for the game against the Minnesota Vikings. And rightfully so, because the Seahawks, for the moment, are in first place in the NFC West, but the Los Angeles Rams are coming, and they're getting hot at the right time. Arizona and San Francisco, they're still in the hunt. So for Seattle, if they can't win the remaining games they have on the schedule, they at least need to win at least 2 out of the next 3. But Minnesota has just been red hot. And, I mean, nobody's been able really to cool them off all season long. And this should be a fun one in the Pacific Northwest between the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. The San Francisco 49ers will square off against the Miami Dolphins. So for the 49ers, what an embarrassing week it has been for them. Devondre Campbell, the whole foolishness that went down Thursday night, refusing to go into the game, takes his helmet, leaving the sideline, going into the locker room, suspended 3 games by the 49ers. And then on top of that, San Francisco loses on Thursday night to the Rams. So it's just been a strange and a weird year for the 49ers. And on top of that, the injuries to their key players being very short at certain positions. It's just been, you talk about the Super Bowl hangover in full force for the 49ers. It's been that way. And as for the Miami Dolphins, losing a tough one to the Houston Texans, Miami, similar to San Francisco, they're in the playoff hunt as well. Their playoff hopes are still alive, but it's slim to none. This is a must-win for both teams. Both teams, hey, they're going to have it on their mind. Injuries, no injuries. These two are going to have it on their mind. They're going to be ready to play at all costs. Both of these teams, they need this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. Brock Purdy, he's got a lot riding on this game, not just in terms of a playoff spot, but what his future holds with the team about getting a big contract extension. For the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill and company, the Dolphins, they want this one, and they're going to have to handle their business, which should be in an exciting game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. Monday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go up against the Dallas Cowboys. So for Dallas, their playoff hopes are still alive as well. They're going to have to win out the rest of the way in order for them to have a chance to be considered. Cooper Rush and company played an effective game, beating the Carolina Panthers. Rico Dowdle ran the ball effectively. CeeDee Lamb has been the one consistent player for the Cowboys all season long. As for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, don't sleep on the Bucs. Tampa Bay, they're in the playoff hunt. Baker Mayfield playing at a high level. Baker and that offense, they shredded the Chargers defense. Coming into the game, the Chargers defense was number 1 in the NFL. Well, Baker Mayfield and that Tampa Bay offense had news for them, and they decimated the Chargers in that game. So you've got Tampa Bay in the mix in terms of the playoffs. They're right at the top of the NFC South. Dallas is fighting for their playoff lives, and this should be a good game on Sunday Night Football with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Monday Night Football, the New Orleans Saints square off against the Green Bay Packers. So let's start off with New Orleans. Tough loss to the Washington Commanders last week. Jake Hayner got the starting job. He failed to meet expectations. Spencer Rattler gets into the game, and he gives that offense new life. MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, making plays. Kendre Miller running the ball at a high level. I mean, it was a tale of two halves with that Commanders and Saints game. The first half was all Washington. Second half, New Orleans took over, but the failed two-point conversion attempt with Rattler attempting to pass to Jawan Johnson, that didn't go through. Washington winds up beating the Saints. So the Saints are in the playoff hunt, but their chances are really slim to none. But they're looking to finish off the year on a strong note as they head to a very cold and an Arctic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, to take on the Green Bay Packers. So for Green Bay, dominant victory over the Seattle Seahawks last Sunday night. Jordan Love played well. Josh Jacobs, boy, we talk about a lot of MVP candidates. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, but you could put Josh Jacobs in the mix as well. I mean, Josh, as he said in an interview this week, he said that this is the most fun he has had playing in the NFL. He's relaxed, he's confident, and he really likes the roster and the team that he's a part of in Green Bay. So it's going to be right before Christmas. You know, hey, Packer fans, they show up. Rain, sleet, snow, hail, sunshine, whatever. And the New Orleans Saints, they hope to spoil the Christmas party in Green Bay. Hopefully to bring some of that Cajun spice to the Midwest and maybe spoil the plans of the Cheeseheads, as we've got an interesting game on Monday night with the New Orleans Saints going up against the Green Bay Packers. All right, now it's time for my game of the week. My game of the week is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders. When you think of Philly and Washington, well, specifically when you think of Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., they're both connected by I-95 along the eastern seaboard. I-95, if you're coming from D.C., or should I say the DMV, I-95 north takes you to Philadelphia. And reverse it, I-95 south takes you from Philly down to D.C. or the DMV. Commanders, Eagles, this has been one of the most heated rivalries in the history of the NFL. I mean, a lot of great players have made up this rivalry with the likes of Randall Cunningham and Reggie White and Jerome Brown and also Brian Dawkins, Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, LaShawn Shady McCoy. Also, you've got players that have made up this rivalry on the Washington side as well. Joe Theismann, Mark Rippon, Doug Williams. Oh, man, the posse, Art Monk, Gary Clark, Ricky Sanders. Also, Dexter Manley, Charles Mann, Darryl Green. I mean, these two teams have been going at it for decades, man. And this game is going to be an awesome game in the continued rivalry between Philadelphia and Washington. You've got two running backs that are playing at such a high level. Saquon Barkley, MVP candidate for the Eagles. Brian Robinson Jr. for the Commanders, who's been very underrated this year and gives Washington's offense an edge, gives them a step up. You've got teams with caliber wide receivers. For the Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. For Washington, Lauren. These two teams are going to have a showdown. Defensively, Washington's defense has been solid this year, led by Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu. But Philly's defense has just been outstanding. Jalen Carter, Darius Slay. My goodness, man. The Eagles' defense currently top 5. The Commanders' defense is somewhere in the mix as well, but both teams on both sides of the ball have played well this year. And, of course, the quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. These two are going to have some intense games, I believe, for years to come. And this should be a fun one. This should be an exciting one. The first game was a good one in Philadelphia when they played in the middle of November, which was 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, with the Eagles winning 26-18. But I think with everything at stake, with Philadelphia getting the opportunity to become the number 1 seed, and with the Commanders with the opportunity to possibly move up and get a higher playoff spot, the stakes are definitely going to be high, and this is going to be, I think it's going to be an exciting game that could come down to which quarterback has the most firepower and which quarterback is going to make the least mistakes. Will it be Jalen Hurts or will it be Jaden Daniels? We'll find out. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders, my game of the week. All right, before we get on out of here, I want to give you my picks on who I think will win Week 16's most important games. Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders. I think this is going to be a very close game, but I like the Eagles to win. The Minnesota Vikings go up against the Seattle Seahawks. I like Minnesota to win. The San Francisco 49ers go up against the Miami Dolphins. I like the 49ers to win. Sunday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Dallas Cowboys. I like the Buccaneers to win. Monday Night Football, the New Orleans Saints go up against the Green Bay Packers. I like Green Bay to win. So again, my picks are Philadelphia, Minnesota, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. And that's it. And that's going to do it for another exciting edition of the program. And once again, from my family to yours, I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Till next time, everybody, so long, you take care, and enjoy the games.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.